What's up, everybody? I'm AJ.
And I'm Christy.
And welcome to In Love with Horror. And thank you for joining us on our Sunday live show, y'all. This is our horror news live show where we recap all of the horror news that dropped over the past week. And just as a reminder, we do this live every Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Just in case you're watching the replay, you want to join us live for the next time. To everybody who's already live in the chat, thank you for joining us live. But if you're watching the replay, that's cool too. Appreciate that. And we do post this on YouTube as well as Spotify and Apple in podcast form. So if that works better for you, you're commuting or something like that, it's there for y'all to enjoy. But yeah, we got not a crazy amount of news to talk about today. It's been a little light in the horror news department. We haven't had no like big drops where it's like, oh snap, but we got like a little bit here and there. And this week we had even got some trailers too, right? Like I think Afraid wasn't that this week?
Yeah. Afraid, yeah.
Which was like that AI, another AI thriller.
Yeah.
And we did a trailer reaction to that too on our YouTube, so definitely go check that out. We reacted to that Afraid trailer. But yeah, like I said, it hasn't been too crazy, but there's always something to talk about, and there are some interesting ones. And I'm sure you've seen the title of this news video with Drag Me to Hell 2 and some other sequel updates as well. So if you're ready, we can jump right into it. Unless you wanted to.
Hey Mike, thanks for tuning in.
What's up,
as
Mike?
Always, appreciate it.
Appreciate that, Mike. As always,
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. And giving us, somebody to interact with, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, also, I want to say thank you to Mike for sending me a book. He bought me a book off my Amazon wish list, so shout out to you. You did really MVP.
Yeah, that was super nice. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it was super nice. Hey, Germs. I've been watching your Twitter feed too. You've been posting a lot of what do they call them? Thirst traps.
Oh, yeah.
It always cracks me up. It's hilarious. But yeah, that's it. Let's hop into the news.
All right. Let's go ahead and jump into our first news story that we wanted to cover, y'all.
Yes, you are a mess.
All right. And the first one, y'all, is all about scary stories to tell in the dark, too. So this particular article that we're covering is from Collider. But it's all about what's going on with the sequel for Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. The big takeaway here is that it's basically in a stalled position. So in the article, Collider was interviewing Dan and Kevin Hageman. I'm sorry, pronouncing it wrong. But they were interviewing about Star Trek Prodigy. And of course, while they were there, the Collider had to ask them, like, hey, what's up with Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? Because they are the writers on that project. And they had this.
Which I thought was funny.
What?
That they wrote this, but they're also writing Star Trek Prodigy.
Yes, it's two very different things.
Yeah.
But hey, as a writer, you can be
Yeah.
versatile. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you can just tell good stories, But they had this to say on that interview about the sequel, and they said it's stalled right now. We actually don't know. We wrote a draft. Guillermo del Toro had a story direction of where to take it, but it's stalled right now. We actually just don't know. We wrote a draft. He's got a story of where to take it, and that's just kind of where it's left.
But del Toro he directed or produced?
I think he's just like a producer.
Okay.
On the last one. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I was just wondering. Because the other guy was the director.
Yeah.
Overdahl, the dude that did.
What's his first name though? Is it
Andre?
Yeah, Andre Overdahl, I think, was the director of that first one. Because the article also went on to mention, he's been working on other projects, like he worked on Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Right.
So they were covering all these different reasons of why this sequel has been in a stalled state.
But I think recently, didn't he say he wasn't doing anything else? Guillermo del Toro?
Or after Frankenstein?
Huh?
What, you talking about Guillermo del Toro himself not doing anything else after Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's why I asked, was he producing or directing, or what was he doing? Because I know he had said something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I think for this one, he's probably going to be in a producer capacity.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that he would come back and direct the sequel.
No.
But it looks like Overdahl is still on board to direct the sequel. But I saw on there like the movie jumped from like Lionsgate to Paramount. Of course, like the COVID, it's been greenlit as a project since, was it 2020?
Yeah,
I think it was 2020.
2020.
Yep. And then of course, so COVID happened. They got delayed with that. They got delayed with the writer strikes and all the various different
things.
Yeah. Actor strikes and all that. So this movie is just in like a.
We'll get to it when we get to it.
It's in a somewhat development hell, but the way they kind of said, because they said they couldn't say too much.
Yeah.
Because one brother was talking, I don't know, I forgot which one it was.
Yeah.
But the other brother kind of reeled him back.
Like, be quiet now.
We can't say too much. No, bring it back a little bit.
So it does seem like they're actually actively working towards that.
It seems like they're trying to work towards something, but I guess they just can't talk about the project too much.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's still coming, so it's not like it's a canceled project.
Right. It's just
it's like
we gonna get to it eventually.
It's I guess maybe it's a project that's just not high on the priority list. It's like, well, look, yo,
I really liked that. I really liked it. The original one. I know it's not well received across the board, but
honestly, I don't remember the first one super good. I remember some aspects about it, but I can't remember it. Like,
it was pretty creepy. Well, good. I think probably because you don't really like YA stuff, and this is
that's true.
Definitely YA. So maybe that's why you don't really like it. Like
have like a memory of it because of that factor. Yeah, that's possible.
Jeremy said, "I am so ready for this. These books had me in a chokehold in the worst way as a kid." Yes, and Mike was like, "I need Guillermo del Toro to bring back Mimic."
oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that would be dope. I didn't even think about Mimic. Yeah, that'd definitely be dope. Or just movies like Mimic in general would be dope to bring back.
I need to look that up because I don't think he's bringing back anything.
Yeah, and if we're going off of anything that you think you heard, like he ain't got nothing else lined up anyway. So, I think it'd be cool for him to tackle like something that's like very like horror-esque. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that'd be cool. Like not even in like just the fantasy realm of horror, but just like full horror. I think would be dope. What are you trying to look up right now?
Oh, nothing. Go ahead. There's nothing.
I was gonna jump to the next story
if
you don't have nothing else to say about this one. But y'all, let us know in the comments in the chat. How are y'all feeling about the fact that this sequel is in somewhat of a development hell? It seems like I don't know when we're gonna get this. It seems like it's still on the priority list to be made at some point, but it's just not. No one's driving it, I guess, to get it out. But they're still talking about it. It looks like they still want it, so maybe we'll get it soon. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. So let's go ahead and jump into the next story we want to talk about here, and this is about a Bloody Mary movie. So this is coming to us over from Deadline, and the title of the story was Final Destination's Jeffrey Reddick partnering with producer Todd Slater on Bloody Mary Origins. So Jeffrey Reddick, of course, he's the creator of the Final Destination franchise, which is still going to this day.
Still
they got
going.
Another sequel being
still
made.
Going.
So like I feel like as a writer, like to have your baby be taken to like that length, it's got to be a good feeling. But of course, that's his the big thing he's known for, Final Destination.
Yeah.
In the horror arena, but he's teaming up with Todd Slater, who produced, I believe, on the Sacrifice Game and Don't Turn Out the Lights, on what they call a chilling new take on the classic urban legend called Bloody Mary Origins. Now, the film is based off of a New York Times bestseller called Mary the Summoning by Hilary Monahan. And I'll read to y'all what that story is about. The story focuses on a group of teenage girls who discover an ancient spell that conjures the real Bloody Mary. When the terrifying entity pulls one of the girls through the mirror, she becomes trapped in the past, living out the real Mary Worth's last days. With time running out, the others must discover a way to save their friend in the past while vanquishing a terrorizing Bloody Mary in the present. I did want to note before we, kind of give our thoughts on this that Jeffrey Reddick wrote the script with John Staccari, who unfortunately passed away in 2018 after a long battle with cancer. So rest in peace to John Staccari. Sad to hear, because I wasn't familiar with the work off the top of my head. At least I don't know. I don't recognize the name. I don't know if you recognize the name.
That would have been, in the article it says that would have been his first produced film. So.
Oh, Oh, so okay. See, was it when they say first produced film, like he hadn't worked on anything Hollywood, like not even TV, nothing like that.
Well, I said film, so I'm assuming it's just film, but I could look it up.
Yep. But they also said that the film will be dedicated to John Sakari's memory, because like Christy said, this is his first produced Hollywood film. They also mentioned that the Emmy winner Lane Schefter Bishop, who worked on the Venice Murders, is set to direct Bloody Mary Origins. So I'm not familiar with that show, the Venice Murders. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
But yeah, no, that would have been all he's done.
Okay.
He was like an actor previously.
Oh wow.
And some like small stuff like shorts.
Oh man, yeah.
And then so this would have been his first big thing.
Damn, that's super unfortunate. That's sad to hear that, he wasn't able to live long enough to see, the whatever he wrote and worked on actually, come to fruition and be made. But it's dope they're dedicating it to his memory. So, shout out and recipes to John Stankari. But what did you think about?
Oh yeah,
hearing about this Bloody Mary movie?
On board for this. Hopefully they get like a good budget for it, so it can be good and not like trash. Because I think the idea is really cool. Kind of like how that Tony Todd movie, about what was it called?
What, the recent one?
Yeah,
Devil
Row, right? Like the idea was super cool, but they didn't have a good budget, so it came off kind of like mid. But I think that movie deserved a bigger budget so it could be really hard, because I think the character of Devil Row was freaking hard.
Yeah.
So in this case, I hope they get a good budget for it, because I don't think we have any good Bloody Mary movies. And Mike even posted it in the comments. I love The Legend of Bloody Mary. I finally get a good horror movie adaptation, and I agree with that. It would be good to get a really good film off Bloody Mary. I mean, like, it's freaking scary. It's almost on the same level as like a Candyman scary if they do it right.
Yeah, because in practice, what you do to perform the rituals is essentially the same.
And we seen a short. Remember, short we watched where someone did that in the mirror, like the Bloody Mary thing. Do you remember that short?
Was it a short?
Yeah, it was a short film.
What happened in that? I don't remember that one.
I was like, why is she doing that? Because she moved this mirror from upstairs to downstairs. Mm-hmm. And then she started the Bloody Mary in the mirror. And then there was like this, this ghost thing that was following her in the house.
Okay, no, I can't.
You don't remember? No. Anyway.
It's not been the one that
It could be really creepy. I think they could do a really good job with this. So hopefully they get a good enough budget to make it like, cool.
Yeah, I think that's the key. You got to have somebody with like passion behind it. I'm not familiar with the director, Lane Schefter.
Yeah, I don't know her either.
I can't speak to their work, but it's gonna take like some passionate people to that's get key. Behind this and make it something good.
Well, obviously Jeffrey Riddick is a good writer. We know that from Final Destination, and hopefully he gets to get good characters.
What else has he worked on though? Besides that, has he worked on anything else?
I don't think he has. And like I was about to say, like hopefully he gets to, because he had to make a lot of changes with Final Destination back in the day because of the times, right? Like, so a lot of his characters were people of color, and obviously we got a very whitewashed version of what he actually created. So hopefully he gets to like see his story the way that he actually wrote it.
Yeah, it kind of seems like
he did Dead Awake. I know that one.
Okay.
I don't know none of this other stuff.
Texas TV series. I don't really know that. Don't Look Back. I would say the reviews on these are kind of
low.
Yeah, looks like he did some kid TV series. A Tale, Dark and Grim, Samurai Rabbit. Okay, it doesn't really seem like he's done nothing like super on the level of Final Destination since then. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I bring that up is from this, the aspect of like, okay, yeah, you had a really big win with the Final Destination, but were you able to like kind of one up that, or at least be on par with creating and writing things that are somewhat on the same level? Now you can make the argument of maybe those other ones didn't have, like you said, the budget to become something better and good and really realize the vision, but it's something to think about, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, I think if this is based off a book, he's basically adapting it. So I think he
Story's
has a good
already
source, good source material already. And I think he does writing teen horror. So I don't know. I think it has potential to be good.
Yeah, and it said it's a New York Times bestseller. That book was called Mary the Summoning by Hilary Monahan. And I feel like that story is something, it kind of reminds me of, like, that situation reminds me of the Netflix trilogy, The Fear Street.
Yeah, it does sound like that.
I think the third film
exactly what I thought
was
about.
when she was like transported
when I read
or whatever, reliving the memories of the
And that's a good ass series. I love Fear Street.
Yeah, she relived the memories of that killer. I don't know if it was just like was it like a actual time travel thing, or she would like a possession type of in the body type thing. I can't really remember specifically, but I do feel like the scenario was the same. You know, she didn't get pulled into no mirror, but I feel like it's similar.
Yeah.
And there was another kind of like direct to streaming movie we watched where didn't somebody get pulled into a mirror? Well, it was like a witch or something was coming for like a baby or something like that.
Oh yeah, I forgot what that
was called, but pretty sure that like she went to a mirror to get into the realm to find her baby.
Oh, was it? It wasn't Who Said It, a Bone Woman? Did she go through the mirror?
No, that definitely was not that. No.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't get it all the way, but
it was on Hulu or something like
picturing
that.
It.
Yeah, it was more. It was of like a B movie style or something like that.
Okay, I can't remember exactly what it was called.
Yeah, but it reminded me of that. Maybe somebody who's listening can remember. I think it was on Hulu. It was kind of B movie ish, but it had some sort of supernatural witch or.
Well, what else happened?
That's the only part I remember. Was her going through the mirror into that realm to try to get her baby back. Okay. Her baby got taken by.
I remember. I think it was
a woman, some sort of woman, ghostly demon witch thing or something like that.
And she didn't get out, right? Wasn't there someone else in there?
I think she got the wrong baby or something.
Or something like that. Yeah. Oh well.
I don't know, but I was just bringing that up because I feel like we get a lot. We've gotten a few of these like pulled into the mirror things, or all that to say. Hopefully, this project becomes good.
Yeah.
And I saw it says Todd Slater's producing. I did like The Sacrifice Game. That's one I think we both liked.
Yeah, Mike said I know exactly what you're talking about, but I do not know what the name of it was.
Okay, so yeah, Mike can't he can't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Sacrifice Game was good. If you haven't watched that, I think that was a good one to check out.
Yeah, so hopefully, with him producing that, it kind of help too to help get the right people, cast, and things like that involved. But
yeah,
y'all let us know in the chat in the comments. Are you excited for this Bloody Mary film? Have you read the book that it's based on? Maybe you have read the book. It's New York Times bestseller apparently, so it's got some weight to it. Maybe the story is pretty good. So y'all let us know your thoughts about this one, and are you excited about who's helping develop this with Jeffrey Reddick, Todd Slater producing? Let us know your thoughts. Let's go ahead and jump into the next story we want to cover here, and this is another sequel update, maybe. This one is about Drag Me to Hell 2. So, Allison Lohman, which I think she was the main girl, right? In Drag Me to Hell, apparently she teased, maybe. Because it's kind of a stretch.
It's a stretch.
She maybe teased Drag Me to Hell 2 for 2026. So, how did this happen? We're reading this the story from iHorror.
Oh, Jerp said I need to see the first one. Yes, you do. It's so well.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I say it's so good, but it's kind of like.
I mean, it's really good.
To me, it's good.
Yeah, I think most people like this movie.
Well, yeah, it's a wild time.
Yeah, because obviously it's a Sam Raimi movie, so it's got like that comedic horror element to it.
It's super crazy.
It's not. The comedy isn't as extreme as Evil Dead is.
No,
this one is a little bit more mainstream and has a little bit more horrorness to it, in the sense of like it has scary moments.
Yeah, it does. It's good though.
Obviously, it's over the top, but yeah, check out Drag Me to Hell. That is a good one.
Yeah,
and even if you didn't like Evil Dead, like because I know you don't really care for Evil Dead, but you still like this.
Yeah,
one.
and I like this one.
I still think it's worth checking this one out.
Yeah,
but basically, she took to Twitter to post this right here, and basically someone on Twitter had tweeted,
and the tweet that they tweeted was from a while ago, So she found this and retweeted because the original tweet that's
This
speaking
one right
of
here.
underrated, this
So,
was from last
yeah, look-
year.
So there was a tweet that got put out by someone that said, "Speaking of underrated, I need Alison Lohman comeback movie." And then Alison Lohman on July 1st, 2024, retweeted this saying 2026 with the wink.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some people kind of ran with that.
They did.
And was like, oh, is it, maybe Drag Me to Hell 2? Now, to kind of add to that, the reason why they're also feeling that way, it was for the tweet, but not the tweet
alone,
fully exclusively.
Yeah.
But back in 2023, Raimi himself announced that he wanted to continue the story. And he said, and I quote, Ghost House production head Rommel Adam and director of development Jose Canas are trying to come up with a story that would work, and I'm anxious to hear if they do. So they're kind of putting these things together to say that, everyone kind of wanted a sequel. They wanted a comeback movie. And was that clip that they used?
No,
it wasn't.
Okay, that's why I said that they really stretching it.
So yeah, they're definitely making it a stretch. But you know what I'm saying? It's always good to be hopeful.
It is
to have some optimism that it could be.
So I'm kind of with Mike in whether or not we want a sequel to this because of how it ended. It kind of like there was like finality.
Yep.
With that, so I'm wondering like, okay, for her to return, what kind of sequel could we get? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm wondering like, is she even talking about that? Because she gone.
Yeah, I mean, you could always come up with something.
I guess you could.
Really
like
could.
She made her way out, but
yeah, or like because since it does always have like a comedy tone to it, like it could be like
spoiler, sorry Germs, my bad, I forgot.
It could be like she haunting somebody or something. You know what I'm saying? You could really have fun with a sequel, but I do agree that you don't really need one, or you just do a different story.
A different story, right?
Set in the same universe.
Yeah, that's story. Fine. But that's what I'm saying. Work. Like for her to come back, obviously, I'm wondering how that would work.
Right. Yep. But either way, I would love to see something like a Drag Me to Hell 2, even if it's not specifically continuing the story, but in the same universe. I'd be cool with that.
Yeah.
But like this is definitely one of those moments where like it's kind of stretching it. It's possible. Yeah. Because of all the parties involved that want to see something, but people definitely are taking this one on the horror side and kind of running with it. And I get it. People want more things like Drag Me to Hell.
Well, we talked about Drag Me to Hell. We have it on our membership. If anyone wants to join and sign up, or our Patreon. We have a
we did do an episode where we talked about
Drag Me to Hell.
Drag Me to Hell. And it's just a fun movie in general. It's one of those ones where it's got a lot of moments.
Yeah.
That, like, that you cringe and disgust at. You know what I'm saying? Or like, it's just so over the top that it's funny, but like funny in a good way.
Yeah.
And it's very ridiculous in a good way, but it's a good time. There's actually some genuinely creepy moments that I really like how they handled in Drag Me to Hell. But like you said, that's up on our membership on Spotify, YouTube, Patreon, if you want to go check that out. But let us know your thoughts. Do you want a Drag Me to Hell 2? Do you think, obviously this is a little bit of a stretch, but you think it's possible that there is a connection through all these things and Drag Me to Hell 2 could be happening? Let me know your thoughts on the chat and in the comments. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the next topic we wanted to cover here. And this isn't horror specific, but it, obviously because it's about platforms that horror streamed on, I think it's interesting to talk about. Sure. And this is about Paramount is hunting for a streaming partner, which should kick off a wave of deals. So basically what's going on right now is Paramount Global is trying to find somebody to go into like co-ownership with Paramount Plus. They've been losing a lot of money with Paramount Plus because that always happens. Typically, when these studios start these streaming platforms, it's always at a loss until they start to build things up. But they're losing crazy money on this, and they're churning subscribers. So they're trying to find somebody that they can partner with, because they feel like the combination of content will allow them and whoever they're partnered with to, rival things like Netflix and Disney Plus and whatnot. So right now, one of the big contenders for this merger is Warner Bros. Discovery with the Max platform. So right now, it's seeming like I'm going to say, it's not really a race, but they're in the lead they're the most promising one to potentially partner Max and Paramount Plus together to create either it doesn't really define how it would look, but maybe either under one umbrella or some sort of package bundle deal where you log in and work across both or something.
Kind of like Hulu and Disney Plus, isn't it? Hulu.
Does the login work across both, or does one have their content umbrella under the other? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but they are owned by the same
people.
By the same people, right? So it's all together. But interestingly enough, I think Warner Bros. Discovery would want to buy Paramount Plus like fully and not do a 50-50 deal.
Yeah.
So that's going to be another battle.
Right.
But all this.
It's like, we're not doing this together.
Yeah, they would just want to take ownership and just probably throw it on Max.
Yeah.
Which is cool, understandable. But ultimately, this has a potential to spur other like partnership deals.
Exactly.
And it's just an interesting conversation because like there's so many different streaming platforms.
So many.
That if you were to have them all, like you'd be paying a ton of money per month. So I'm curious to see like over the next few years how things will play out with, these streaming platforms combining to create bigger platforms, and, will we eventually like go into like almost back to a cable territory where people are like, okay, we got this full bundle package over here. And there's also the question of like, streaming platforms, like, because the big thing right now is like bundling. So you see a lot of like companies partnering to do bundles through like different services, like phone companies and things like that. Oh, if you go through this phone company, you can get a bundle that's got these 3 streaming platforms. You see that a lot. So I think the industry, and the article mentions this, it's coming from CNBC. You can go check out the article because there's a lot of stuff in there. But it does mention that the industry, the studios understand that partnering together actually allows them to have more money across the board. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if Paramount Plus ends up merging with Max. We have a Paramount Plus membership, mainly is for Evil.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Mike even posted, he was like, they don't have enough new content.
Yeah.
And it's the truth. Like, they don't have enough new content.
I will say they got good kid content because our kids.
Yeah. They have some good kids
stuff. Yeah, like they got Ninja Turtles on there, Paw Patrol, like that type of stuff. So, like, you got kids, they probably using it because it's all the Nickelodeon stuff. But
yeah.
But it doesn't have any like good mainstream content, and a lot of it is like stuff that I wouldn't watch. Because I know they got Star Trek stuff. I never tried watching those things. I don't know how good that is. But I know they got stuff like Criminal Minds, stuff like. I mean, you watch that, but you haven't even watched the new stuff.
I don't like the new ones. I only like the old ones, and I only like and NCIS, all that stuff. I only like the old stuff. Okay. I don't like the new ones. It's not the same.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if this will work out, better for the both of them. I mean, I'm cool with just paying. Like the question I would have is the price. Would the price
what
increase?
The price is gonna look like? Yeah.
Would it be? Is it gonna cost like? Cause it would suck if they take on Paramount Plus. Now the price increase for everybody, even people who didn't want Paramount Plus.
Oh
so,
yeah, that's true. Especially if they do
that
it that way.
That would kind of suck.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like because of their brands, I think those two match up the best together compared to other streaming platforms. Okay. But I would like to see like this happen for someone like or like AMC, is it AMC or MGM?
Yeah, I don't know if they have their own platforms, but we watch it through Amazon. I assume they got their own apps, but I don't know.
I think they do.
Okay.
But anyways, I would also like to see them also collaborate with some people because they got some good shows, but not enough people watch them enough.
That's true
because they're such small.
But I don't even see them get really marketed like that. So
they don't. Their marketing sucks.
They definitely need to increase their marketing budget. But y'all let us know what your thoughts are about this potential merger of Max and Paramount Plus. Are you concerned about maybe a price increase? Are you a Paramount Plus owner? Like, maybe you keep it just for one show like we do.
Yeah.
We put that thing on, watch Evil, and then we jump right back off of it. So let us know how you're feeling about this potential merger in the chat.
Mike said, and if Max gets to absorb Showtime too, that would be a game changer. Showtime and Max have great shows.
I agree. Yeah, Showtime definitely a game. Showtime has like a lot of like good shows, but again, I think it's the thing of like they don't get marketed.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and when it does, it's very rare that I see something like an ad for Showtime stuff.
Right.
But speaking of streaming platform, let's jump to another big one here, and that is Tubi, y'all. So we wanted to come on here and talk about Tubi because they were. What were they doing? I'll let you explain because I think you know a little bit better what they were doing.
Well, yeah. So the Essence Festival happened this past weekend. If you're not familiar with that, it's like a big entertainment fest that happens in I think it's in NOLA. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. Mostly, Black entertainment. So they have concerts, but they also have panels and stuff like that from different companies that talk about marketing to our demographic.
Yep.
But one of them was Tubi, and they were on there talking about their streaming service and what to expect going forward. The director of product and consumer communications was on a panel, and her name is Dana Balch, I believe. And someone asked about, will we ever have to pay for Tubi? Because right now you can access all of their content for free. You don't even have to log in. You can log in to save, your progress and stuff like that. But you have the choice of not doing that. And so she basically was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. One of the things she said was like, we want to make sure that there are no barriers to entertainment. So you don't have to pay for it. Obviously there are ads, but their ads support the platform. Yep. So they have no intention of ever charging, and I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
They said that it'll be forever free, as long as they're able to support it. She also went into saying like their tagline is "See you in there," and I always thought that was like because we'll see you in the app, but she said it's because we believe that you'll be able to find something you see yourself in. And I thought that was pretty dope.
That's cool. Okay.
And I think that's also why we see a lot of, the content across kind of very diverse content. Yeah. Like, and Mike said, this is why we love Tubi exactly. And it's funny because you were hesitant about Tubi at first because of the type of content they have on there.
Yeah, I was. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, but they have so much, which is another point that she made in the panel. What they house the most streaming content with over 250,000 movies and shows.
That's crazy.
Than any other platform. I thought that was like,
and Tubi's cool because you can always find like very obscure stuff.
Yeah,
like, we can't find nowhere else. It's like maybe Tubi.
Maybe
got
Tubi
it. Sometimes
got
they
it.
do.
Yeah, they be the only ones who have it.
Obscure, underground, weird, whatever the case may be. But I think the cool thing is the biggest thing is that easy barrier to entry.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Basically non-existent. You just got to download the app.
That's it.
And you can just go in there and instantly start watching stuff. And I think that makes it super simple. Like to not even ask for a sign up. That invites even the person who's hesitant about Tubi just trying. I even got to put in an email. Well, okay, I try it. You know what I'm saying?
Mike said Tubi reminds me of a Hollywood video store. You got to go through some trash, but it's fun trash, and you find gems.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, you are scrolling through a catalog, it's going back to looking at the thumbnails and stuff like that.
Right, exactly. And now they're making their own original content too, which I thought I didn't get to watch all of it because it was a long ass panel, I'm gonna lie. But she did mention they're making their own, which we've seen that they're making their own original content. But the great thing about Tubi is that they work with the underrepresented communities. Like they want to hear our stories, Black, LGBTQIA plus, like all those demographics that don't normally get the shine that they deserve. Like they want to partner with those people,
on Tubi.
Exactly. So,
but wasn't there like a thing that you recently read too? That they were doing some sort of like initiative or something?
They are some kind of initiative. What was that? I can't remember the details on it. Let me see if I can find it. But yeah, they are doing another, because they recently did one too with like screenwriters, but there was something else too.
Yeah, because there's something about, I remember you brought it up the other day, and I was like, dang, like Tubi does a lot of like contests and like you can like submit your scripts to try to get it made into a film. They do a lot of like competitions like that to like invite upcoming writers and filmmakers to try to do things to be featured on their platform, which I think is super dope. But there was one that I brought up recently.
Yeah. It's in a Forbes article, so I can't read all of it, but it's come back to me now. But it was like a partnership with Issa Rae, and they were making it so like creators, like small creators, could like make content, and people can like vote on it and stuff like
That's
that. What
see
if
was.
they wanted, wanted to see more. So like you get a chance to make something, they'll put it on this platform. And
if
people
it gets the most votes,
yes,
Tubi would actually fund the project.
They'll fund
right?
the project, exactly. So
I
yeah,
like,
I thought that was super cool.
That's super genius.
Yeah,
to involve the community in that, in your platform users to kind of make decisions about we want to see this.
We want to see this get made. I thought that was fire.
That's kind of interesting. It's like a really cool concept. But hey, look, Tubi doing really creative and cool things over there. And like I said, indie filmmakers got a lot of opportunity on Tubi. I've seen a number of videos where they talk about
how I got my movie on Tubi.
Yeah, I got my movie on Tubi. Like, how I made this much money. Like, it's allowing them to work as a filmmaker, like as their job. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's making dreams come true, kind of. Obviously they might not be making like Hollywood money,
right?
But it's money that allows them to be more than comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Depending on where you live at. But it's just cool, man. Like, and that's surprising to me as someone who, when Tubi was initially around, I was like, the fuck? Like, anybody watching Tubi? Now it's becoming this thing where, it's making a name for itself of being kind of like what Mike said, this like, being like a blockbuster Hollywood video like back in the day, and just having this vast assortment of content that you can consume and wade through and whatnot. So it's cool, man. Tubi out here doing big things. But let us know down in the comments, y'all, and on the chat. Are you are you a big Tubi user? But then two, are you excited to hear that they're going to keep it free forever, and then to continue to do a lot of these cool initiatives to support indie filmmakers and writers, which is just super dope.
I did want to point out this though, because I think that Tubi saying we don't want there to be any barriers to entertainment. Obviously they have a vast amount of or different types of content, but I think that the fact that they are like tailoring their marketing to a demographic of people who don't have the money to pay for this, like you were talking about earlier, like all these different streaming platforms, because it is expensive.
Yep.
And they understand that, but also knowing that they can be successful and profitable without demanding more from their audience, their core audience and stuff like that. So Mike said Tubi just dropped on the UK for our friends across the pond, so they get to enjoy it now too. So cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Like,
hey, that's dope.
Expansion. I love that.
Now we might get even more cool content on
that's
on the
true.
Tubi side, because we just started watching Supercell.
Man, what? Oh my god, that show is so crazy.
It's really cool.
There's some good shots in that show, like that. Like, I'm like, whoa! It's almost like watching a freaking like Marvel movie. That shit's fire.
In some ways, yeah.
Look, don't do that. Don't do that now. It's just as
good.
I'm
saying,
it's just
hype it up to if you've never seen it, you can't be like, oh, it's like Marvel.
I'm not saying on the level of production. I'm talking about like the concepts. Yes, be quiet. Don't listen to AJ.
Well, no. I just don't want to like warp people's
first
idea
of all,
of what it is.
All right, I'm not.
It's more of like it's almost like a black version of Heroes.
I've never seen that, so I can't compare to that,
because it's like everyday normal people suddenly getting powers. Obviously, the concept of how they get them is different, but I'm saying the idea of like it's everyday people in a TV show format, but then it has like very like cool power moments. That's what it feels like to me.
It's good. Don't listen.
But yeah, no, it's good. No, but see, I think you're confusing what I'm saying. I'm not saying that because it's not like Marvel, it's not good. This is really good.
It is good.
It's a really good show.
Anyways, it is.
I just didn't want to confuse people.
No, first of all, the Marvels, I fell asleep on that movie. It wasn't even all that good. And what was the last one we watched before that?
Which one?
We watched another movie before that.
Well, I was saying like on a production value level.
And right? I said it's not on the level of the production level of a Marvel movie. I'm talking about like, okay, because I don't want to give it away, but there's a particular scene that happens. To me, it looked like some shit from Marvel. And I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, you're just talking about the way the shot was structured.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I said that. I said really cool shots. I prefaced that by saying
from a superpowers moment.
I said there was some really cool shots in this show, and then that's what I was referring to. I was like, that was on the level of something you would see in a Marvel movie.
I see what you're trying to say. Yeah, because it is the superpowers featured or something or powers you would see in like Marvel or DC or something like that. So I see what you're trying to say.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, the powers they use are at that level.
Right.
But I think ultimately what's cool is I just like the story and the dialogue. Like it's handled really well.
Yeah.
We're only like 2 episodes in, so like we haven't even seen like how far they use the powers.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're just getting started. But the story is really cool. But I just brought that up to say like it's because Mike mentioned across the pond, like
yes, because there's from got you.
What did Mike say about Supercell?
Oh,
because you put it on the screen, but you didn't say anything about it.
He said it was good. Honestly, one of my favorite shows in a long time.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, we definitely plan on finishing it for sure.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a dope start. Like the concept is super dope. And it's one of the things that's just cool to see that format of show with black people. I don't know why.
It is dope.
And I know it's across the pond black people, but
still black.
It's still
a lot
cool,
of the stuff that they reference though are stuff that we all deal with. So
true, yeah, very true.
Because another horror creator that we follow, she's in the UK, and she talked about how some of the things that she deals with being a black woman in the UK, like we still face the same similar issues. Yeah.
Yep. But maybe Tubi will start to get cool things like that now that we got Tubi in the UK.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Dan.
What up? What up?
Hey, Rhythm UK. Thanks for tuning in as well.
Appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. But there's one more story I wanted to jump into. And this is really all about the box office and MaXXXine, y'all. So it's coming to us from Variety. It's no secret that Despicable Me 4 is going to make stupid money.
Yeah.
We already knew that. And honestly, I'm like, man, for it to be the 4th movie, I'm kind of surprised. Like, 122 million is crazy numbers.
Well, they were very smart with the time period of when they came out.
Oh,
the holiday weekend.
Yeah,
it's the summertime.
Yep.
Like they came out at the right weekend.
Yep. But more specifically, for our channel, I wanted to bring up MaXXXine. So MaXXXine made $6.7 million this weekend, and it's actually the biggest like box office opening of the trilogy because X was in theaters, and I think it made like 4 point something. Let me see if they had it in this, or they might not. It might have been this other article I was reading. Yeah, X made $4.3 million. So, hey, this is the biggest opening that it's had of the trilogy. I don't think Pearl went to the theater. But I also want to bring it up because we did do a review on this. So if you're interested, you can go over on either YouTube or Spotify or Apple podcast, and you could watch our review on this because we're very like split on this. On like how we felt about it.
Extremely split.
Yeah, and I also wanted to show kind of the state of the Rotten Tomatoes right now.
It went down.
So it did go down a little bit. Yep. Yeah. So critic wise, it didn't change 75%, and the audience score is sitting at 78%. And it's just been an interesting conversation to see. Like it is really mixed bag on how people are feeling about this film. But hey, it made some money at the box office. We always want horror things to make money because we want more horror related content. So hey, I'm happy for them to have made the most of the trilogy. But I'm curious to see how this Rotten Tomatoes will play out over time because it's got only 250 plus verified ratings for audience score. So we'll see how that fluctuates as it continues on.
The critic rating, like you said, stay the same, and they got a lot more reviews now too.
Yeah.
So
75% is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially for like a horror thriller ish type of movie. Like 75%
heavy on
is
the
actually
ish.
really good. But hey, look, ultimately, go check out our review. If you've seen it, where we stand. I won't get into it in this because it'll prolong this. But ultimately, y'all, that's actually our last story that we wanted to talk about.
This week, though, Long Legs hits the theaters for us regular folks who didn't get the chance to see it early.
Yes, for us regular folk, hey, Long Legs finally this week. I'm as we get closer, I'm getting more nervous. because it's getting so hyped up. I mean, I've seen, I haven't watched any reviews, but obviously they pop up on my YouTube,
right? Yeah,
naturally.
It's still.
And so
100%.
I've seen some titles. I've seen some titles that say like, it lives up to the hype and things like that.
Yeah.
And the title of these things. I haven't watched them, but I'm like, okay, like seeing that, makes you feel a little bit better. Let me see what the Rotten Tomatoes is.
I told you what it is.
Oh, so it got 20 reviews now.
Well, it had 10 before, right?
It was something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So still with 20 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, it's still at 100%. That's still good. We'll see how that changes over the next week or so.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited, but also nervous because, when something gets hyped up to this level, and this Long Last is being hyped up to like an astronomical level.
Yeah.
For like a horror movie.
We've been, because they started marketing this film back in like January, right?
The teasers. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's been a long time. We've been waiting for this movie, and then adding in the fact that a bunch of people have now seen it and they're constantly talking about it. Yep. It's just like you can't help but be like anxious about it.
I'm like, man, y'all hyping this shit up to like a new level. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping for me it lives up to the hype because now I have a very high expectation. So hopefully it can meet that. But yes, that review will be this week. You won't be able to attend it, unfortunately, but I will still do like an out of theater and a review that week as well.
I don't know when I'll get to see it, so I'm very sad.
Well, I'll get to watch it and I'll let you know, and then I'll let you know if you can handle it or not.
Whatever. I'm sure it's not that bad.
I don't know. They talking about terrifying movie of the decade and shit like that.
I doubt that.
They hype shit up. But that's what makes me nervous because they hype it up and saying shit like that. Oh, this is the most terrifying movie in a decade. This, I've seen lives up to the hype, scariest movie. Yeah. So many different things, but we're gonna see. We avoided the trailer, so we don't even.
Because I think the most recent trailer, because I know they did one called like The End or something like that. But at one point, I said they showed what Nicolas Cage's character looks like in the trailer. Yeah. I don't know how long he was in the trailer or anything like that, so we're not even sure. Like,
I have no idea what he even looks like. Yeah, we haven't watched any trailers. This is the first one that we did watch those initial like. 10-second teasers that came out in the beginning of the year. But since then, we haven't looked at nothing else. So this will be the first movie that we're going in blind to.
Mike said, I still have low expectations because I don't trust anybody after a Violent Nature.
Oh, Mike, that's a good point. That's a very good point because they were hyping that shit up. And remember when we were going, I was getting kind of hyped. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
They were talking about the kills in this movie. Like, and then we watched it. We were both kind of like, okay, like, all right, this is not, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, Mike, hey, you're right, because, that was it wasn't like a massive disappointment, but it was slightly.
Not for me, because I knew that wasn't going to be something I was going to like anyway.
Well, I wanted it to go, I was thinking it was going to go crazy. I'm thinking like, oh, this shit about to be so brutal.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, except for like maybe twice, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 2 times.
And then it was just so much walking that people were hyping this thing up. So
they still are, like, because it recently hit streaming
so people
last
talking
week.
about it
so now people are talking about it again. Okay. And so people still love that. So
shit.
Yeah. Okay, so I think what it is like they're looking at it from the point. And so remember how you got on me once about my rating system and how I attribute like small like indie films making a movie is like a part of my rating. Yep. A lot of people are having that conversation around this film.
In A Violent Nature.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Like, well, have you made a movie? Like,
you can say that for anything.
I know, exactly.
As bad as The Strangers was, you could be like, well, have you made a movie before? You know what I'm saying? No, but I think
it's like a different expectation, and that's my point too. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a different expectation when a studio makes a movie than a small group of friends make a movie.
Who made Strangers? Was that a big studio?
I don't know. I'm sure they had a bigger budget to work with than the people who made In a Violent Nature.
Oh, well, I'm sure they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right.
I feel like you have to hold them to a different standard. Like someone said that what movie? Dang it. I can't think of it now.
Well, I also brought up Strangers because I'm like, how big? It didn't seem like the budget was that big for that.
It was another movie too.
Trilogy,
what's coming out soon?
I'm not sure.
Ugh, I can't think of what it is. So, but someone was talking about some movie being more like an indie movie because they had a $50 million budget.
That's not.
You don't
indie.
remember me saying anything about that?
No.
Now I need to find
that's
it.
crazy
It's
though.
messing with my
That's
mind.
definitely not no daggone 50 million is not no indie movie.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's probably not gonna come up for me off just that. But
yeah, but yeah, was it? But it wasn't like a big movie, like Trap or something. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that level.
No, it wasn't Trap. I can't think of it what it is. If I can
we'll
find it,
later.
I'll let you know. But yeah, so like someone who has a $50 million movie budget and someone who only had like $10,000 to make a movie, like you gotta kind of hold them to a different set of standards when it comes to rating their films. That's how I feel. Yeah.
But since the film is still being made, I feel like you can grade them the same. You can be less harsher on certain elements, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, the CGI was bad or something, right? It's like, well, you don't have Hollywood level money for CG, that Hollywood level CGI. I can give grace on that.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So you could, but you still got to look at things.
So what
like
things don't you get?
performances.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask.
Performances, story, writing. Those are things.
So even on performances, when like I can't go out and go get like,
hey, everybody had to start
Halle
somewhere.
Berry to act in my film, but I had to get this college student who's going to school for acting.
Yeah,
but
I mean, everybody, that's what I'm saying. Everyone's got their start. We've seen indie films where I'm like, dang, like they acting.
Well, that's true.
Some of those festivals we gone to,
that's true.
There was some good acting in some of those. Now, obviously, there was some bad, but there were some ones I'm like, dang,
yeah,
like that Carnivora one.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That's indie.
Yeah,
and I'm like, these people acting.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You're right.
So you can forgive on things where budget would actually help increase it, but there's a lot of things where budget won't help.
Yeah.
But is there anything else you want to add? Anything else in the chat? I don't think you're looking at that right now. Before we close out.
No.
All right. Well, y'all, that concludes this live horror news show. At the end, we just kind of we just chop it up, talk about some different things here, but a lot of things coming to be excited about, like long legs and whatnot. We also did another vote for watch along. That watch along might not happen until the end of the month of July, but it's going to probably be for Wrong Turn. I think Wrong Turn had the most votes.
Yeah, it did have the most votes.
By a mile. Like, Wrong Turn got a crazy amount of votes. So make sure you are subscribed and following us to get ready for that watch along, and then make sure you're subscribed to see the long list, to see our thoughts on, well, I guess my
AJ's thoughts
on long legs this week. It's gonna be very interesting because my expectations are crazy high, so we're gonna see how that plays out.
I might have to try to like figure something out.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Because you won't have like good internet and stuff to be able to like record stuff, so you might have to just do something off your phone.
Well, yeah.
I
ain't worried about that. I'm talking about watching the movie. I don't care about doing no review.
Okay, yeah, really got some like, yeah, we'll have to figure it out. But let us know what was your favorite story from this news discussion. What are your thoughts? And that's it for this one, y'all. Again, appreciate y'all tuning in. If you've listened and tuned into the whole thing, thank y'all so much. Make sure you like and share, comment, and of course subscribe. Stay tuned into All Things Horror. We'll see y'all next time. We out, people. Peace.